Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Coda Man Movies. Guys, I once again am late because, well, I suck. I've been busy with work and other work and then just life, you know what I'm saying? So this is a little late, but, better late than never, right? So we'll get right into things right away. Not make this episode quite as long as the last one. Only 9 movies to talk about this week instead of like 16 that I had last week. So, without further ado, guys, first, grab your alcoholic beverage. Tonight, I have a hot chocolate bomb with some warm milk and then some amaretto and Malibu. It's a spiked hot chocolate, and it's delicious. So, if you haven't tried that, try it out. I also added some. I went to Walmart the other day and found Nesquik that has a chocolate caramel, and there's a hot fudge sundae flavor. So I added some chocolate caramel to it to make it, even caramely, because it's a hot chocolate bomb with caramel in it. So yeah, I'm babbling on again. Let's get started talking about movies, guys. Starting with this one, and once again, I forgot something, guys. I always forget one thing. I have it pretty much ready to go. I'm like, I'm gonna have it. I'm gonna remember it this time. And then, yeah, I don't. This is just feeling a little crooked to me. That looks a little better. So, yeah, guys, let's get started. First, we're going to talk about Amsterdam, guys. This is a movie that, it's David O. Russell, a director that I've liked a lot of his movies. I wasn't excited about this one. I just heard some terrible things about it. The trailer didn't get me that much. The cast did, though. Margot Robbie, John David Washington, we got Christian Bale, Chris Rock, Anna Taylor-Joy, Zoe Saldana, Mike Myers, Michael Shannon, Timothy Olyphant, Taylor Swift, Rami Malek, Robert De Niro. We have so many people in this cast, and that's what really was getting me excited about this movie. That was the only thing really getting me excited about this movie. And I will say, after watching this movie, guys, there is a great cast. The chemistry and the banter between the main cast is all really good. And actually, the banter and the chemistry between everyone really is pretty good. So it is really good in that sense. It's unfortunate that the movie just isn't that good. The story is nothing phenomenal, really. It is these two people who are accused of murder, and they basically have to go out and, solve their own case and make sure that they don't get accused of murder. That's about it. That's the movie. It's very slow paced, actually. The movie started out kind of fast and good and great, and just went downhill from there, guys. It got really boring, way too long. It's like over 2 hours long. It just doesn't need to be. The movie opens with a lot of this is true. From what I have read, basically the names are true, and that's about it from what I've read. Which I know nothing about the actual true story, so I'm not one to judge on whether it is true or not. I did a little bit of research, just the tiniest bit of research, and found that like 10% of this movie is true. So just keep that in mind. The trailers are making it out that, it's true. Does it say in the poster here? It does not say in the poster, so that's something. I always hate when a movie is mismarketed. And so when a movie says this is 100% a true story, or a lot of this is true, most of this is true, that does bug me when it is not. If it says, based on true events, something like we talked about The Woman King a few weeks ago, and that is a movie that says, I think, inspired by true events. That's different. It's one word that changes it, really. When that one word just says inspired, it means there are certain little things that helped make this story. Whereas when a thing says most of this is true, or a lot of this is true, it's just saying, like, this is true for the most part. In my book, this is the way I see it. So that did bug me a little bit if this really is only like 10% true. No one in this movie also feels like a real person. Everyone feels like a cartoon. Like, John David Washington's character is probably the most normal out of all of them. Like, Christian Bale is just being a goof. Margot Robbie's kind of almost playing I imagine her being Harley Quinn before she becomes Harley Quinn almost. It's weird. Along with everyone else. Like, everyone was just so over the top in this. It almost felt like that movie, See How They Run, that I watched like a month ago with Sam Rockwell, where it feels like this over-the-top Clue feeling kind of mystery at times. But at the same time, that's not the story they're telling, and it's just, I don't know. It didn't work for me, the way all these characters felt like cartoon characters. What else? Again, it's just, more than anything, it's just overlong, it's overstuffed, and it feels like more than one movie kind of mashed together, and it was just kind of boring at the end of the day, guys. At the beginning, I was a little bit more interested. As we got the introduction to our characters, I was interested. And then from there, it goes downhill, guys, and I just got so bored by this movie, and I just really wanted it to be more than what it was. With that cast, I mean, it should be a good movie, right? You would think, with that director, David O. Russell, and it was really disappointing, I gotta say. In the end, guys, this isn't an awful movie. It's just a very forgettable movie, which is why I'm going to give it the grade of 4 out of 10. It's just nothing spectacular. I wouldn't recommend seeing it in theaters the way I did, but there was nothing playing, so, that's what I had to go see. Because Cody loves movies a little too much. So, yeah, that was Amsterdam, guys. Next up, guys, New Nightmare. Last week's episode, we talked about Nightmare on Elm Street. I went and saw that theater, had a blast, absolutely love that movie. Decided to watch the Wes sequel. All the other Nightmare on Elm Streets are directed by different people. Wes is not really a part of them. I think he produces a couple of them, but not really a part of it. And this is like the true sequel in my book, I guess. And I absolutely love this movie. This movie is so meta. This movie takes place in the real world, and the actor who played Nancy in A Nightmare on Elm Street is playing herself, and Wes is playing himself, and Robert Engel, I can't say his name, who plays Freddy, is playing himself. And I absolutely love the meta-ness of this movie. Wes Craven he knew how to do meta, and I absolutely wish he was still around to make more of this meta stuff, because it's so much fun. It really is. It's so fun and exciting and just interesting and funny. It's weird. I don't know. I love the meta stuff. This movie literally blows my mind every time I think about it. Like, okay, so she's in the real world experiencing what she experienced in the movie that she played in, which wasn't real, but she thinks it's real, but it is real. If that makes any sense. Absolutely love this movie. Freddy's new look is really kind of cool. I prefer the older one, but this poster doesn't really show it necessarily, but like, he's got weird new colors, and he just looks so interesting. The new hands with the blades are kind of cool. Absolutely love that. It's just, this is such a cool poster. Love this poster. Again, I prefer the original, but he has such a cool look. The sound is so amazing in this movie, with like all of Wes's movies, really. He knows how to work with the sound people and creating this awesome sound and visual in the movie. Just absolutely love it. Absolutely love the sound in this movie. It's great. It really does make you feel like you are there, and it makes you feel like you are a part of it with them, and it's so interesting, so exciting. Absolutely just love it. Love it to death. The kills in this one are really cool, and the throwbacks to the original are absolutely awesome. They're just so much fun and so exciting. I love that the movie is making fun of the other movies in a sense, and making fun of the original too in a sense. It's just, I just love the meta-ness of this movie. I love a meta movie, and this movie is just like meta to the nth degree. Like, it's so meta and so great. The child acting in this movie, I don't love it. The character of Dylan, who is a big character in this movie, I don't love all of it. There are moments where he's doing great, but specifically when he's just like screaming, like he's just acting like he's screaming, and I didn't buy the screaming in this movie from him specifically. He's doing a good job in some scenes for sure, but other scenes where it feels like a child actor and it feels forced almost, and I just don't buy it. So there's that. The finale in this movie too bugs me a little bit. Like, you're in a pit of Freddy. It's really cool how she like goes down the blanket into a chute kind of thing. That's really cool. Then you go down to the Freddy pit and it just, I don't know, it's a little too much, a little too CGI heavy. And I didn't love it as much as like the finale of the first one. The first one just feels like it's a simple finale. It felt like the movie was on a budget, and this is the finale they had to do, and it's a great finale. This one just feels like we have more money, let's make a big, awesome finale. And it's still fun, don't get me wrong. It's still really fun. I love the bit where they're in like the fireplace, the stove, and Dylan's being chased. I love that. That's a lot of fun too. And overall, guys, this is a really fun horror movie. Has some really great moments of tension. There's some really fun kills, throwbacks to the original. Wes Craven just knew what he's doing when it came to making movies, and especially making sequels to his movies. I think he did such a phenomenal job of that. Guys, I absolutely love this movie. Not quite the quality of the first one. I would give this one like an 8 out of 10. It's so close to being the first one. I think give the first one like a 9 out of 10. Ooh, excuse me. I need my alcohol. That's what that means. But yeah, it's not quite the quality of the first one, but a strong sequel. Really a strong sequel. And it really is kind of the second, almost. But it's not, because it's outside of the movie. And it's so meta crap. It's awesome. Anyway, guys, 8 out of 10. New Nightmare. Phenomenal movie. Next up, guys, we have The Thing. I have never seen this movie before. Everyone's talked about how John Carpenter's Thing is awesome and a masterpiece. So I've been meaning to watch it for years, and I have just never gotten to it. I like John Carpenter. I love his original Halloween. So I'm a fan of his, and I really felt the need to see this movie, and I just didn't. And so I finally did. So what I will say about The Thing, there are some great practical effects in this movie. Some really cool things that they do with like the dog. I absolutely love the dog at the beginning of this movie. And then when the dog kind of goes into his kennel and there's all that weird stuff, the transformation stuff, those practical effects just look so cool. You can tell these actors are actually looking at things, that they're actually, playing around with these things, and it's so cool. Absolutely love the practical effects. I love the score of this movie. I believe it was, I can't say his name, Ennio Morricone. He's a great composer. He's done so many movies, but I just didn't. I love the score. I just absolutely love the score. The direction, the movement of the cameras, just the way that we go around this, what do you want to call it, this Antarctic station is beautiful. It looks so beautiful. The sound is fantastic. It really does make you feel like you are there with these characters. Because they're in Antarctica, you can just hear the wind constantly. And there was a couple points in the movie where I thought my window was open or something because I could hear wind. But no, like I paused the movie and it stopped. I went, that's the movie. What amazing sound and what an amazing immersive feeling I felt while watching this movie because of that sound. It was so great. Let's see. From there, guys, I would say that this movie does get kind of boring at times. It's a little slow-paced, and I think it's intentional, but it got a little boring. It got a little slow, and I think this movie is a little bit too long. It's not a super long movie. I think it was like an hour and 40 minutes. It felt like a 2 hour long movie. Uh, and the first half of this movie is a lot better than the second half for me. I got kind of bored by this movie. I'm not going to lie. I don't think this movie's a bad movie by any means. I still enjoyed this movie. And I almost feel like this movie maybe got a little overhyped for me. Because at the end of the day, it was just kind of boring and slow in that second half. And I didn't care about the characters all that much. And there's some really cool sequences and scenes. Some great moments of tension. The scene where they're testing each other, testing blood. Kurt Russell's like setting their blood on fire to see who has the bacteria in them or whatever, the alien creature in them. Some really great tense moments. But it was kind of surrounded by a movie that was just kind of lackluster, in my opinion. Not the greatest movie in the world, not the worst movie in the world, but I think this movie maybe just got a little overhyped for me. I think maybe in 5 years, a year, 2 years, I don't know, and let some time pass, I could watch this movie again and appreciate it a lot more. As of now, though, I was just kind of by it. It's not bad. It's a good movie. I just a little overrated, in my opinion, is what I will say about The Thing. John Carpenter's The Thing, anyway. I'm going to give this movie a 6 out of 10, guys. 6 out of 10. That didn't sound like I said anything. 6 out of 10. I enjoyed it. Just not my favorite. Not as great as I have been told it is. But still, a very good, enjoyable movie. We're 15 minutes in. Okay, good. We're going great. An enjoyable movie. Just not my favorite. Next up, guys, we have The Shining. I had a chance to go see this in theaters, so I took that opportunity. I worked from 10 o'clock till about 8:30. Came home, showered, got dressed, drove a half hour to go see this movie in theaters, and so glad I did. Such an amazing experience, guys. I've watched this movie so many different times, and I knew it was a scary movie, but boy, did this movie get scarier, because I was in a crowd full of strangers. It was a packed house, and it was so much fun, guys. It's such a great movie. This new experience in the theater was just made it so much better, guys. Like, I never want to see this at home again. I want to see it in the theater for the rest of time. The opening shots and just how the direction of the movie brings you in immediately, and it is so fantastic. The hotel feels like its own character. The Overlook is such a character in this movie, and I love it. The whole cast is wonderful. There's a lot of minor characters towards the beginning. They all do great with the little amount that they have, and then basically it's the three of them in the hotel. They all do great. Doc is great. And then there's even the little girls. Oh, the twin girls, absolutely fantastic. With they're on screen for 2 minutes? Like, so fantastic. Such great acting in this movie. I even think the kid, Lloyd, Danny, played by Lloyd, he does a great job. And I think this was the only movie he did, actually, which is insane. And there are just so many great shots and scenes in this movie. So many scenes where the camera doesn't really cut, when Danny's just riding his tricycle throughout the hotel, and the sound too, when you hear the sound of the concrete floor, the hardwood floor, or whatever you want to call it, and then the rugs. Love that sound. It is so perfect, so fantastic. And again, Lloyd does such a good job. For a child actor, he does such a great job. He does a good job of being Danny, and then Tony. Absolutely phenomenal. I also love the fact that there are a lot of scenes where, Danny's talking to his father, for example. In the one scene, they're sitting on the bed, he's talking to his father, and the camera does not cut. And this kid had to remember all these scenes, all this dialogue. Either that, or somehow I don't know. I'm guessing he just remembered all his lines. I don't know if he had someone off screen telling him. I don't know. But it's so phenomenal that they were able to get this nice long scene of just a conversation between Danny and his father. And it doesn't cut. It's so beautifully done. I absolutely love it. Tracking shots, like I said, all these tracking shots are absolutely phenomenal. The things with just everything in the hotel. Like I said, the hotel feels like a character. And part of it, I think, is because of those fantastic tracking shots. Really do think that. And just the tension and the eeriness of this movie. This movie, one person dies, I think. It's Doc, really. Isn't that it? And then Jack by the end, of course. But I just, wow. The fact that there's really nothing, it's just, we know this is a haunted hotel. And that's it. And that's all we need to feel this eeriness, this creepiness. And it's so good. I love how I felt watching this movie. I love how I feel when I'm watching this movie. Just pitch perfect. I love it. Love it. Cinematography, the sound, all of that, just absolutely incredible in this movie. Technically, this movie is so fantastic. Direction, all of that, just so great. Dialogue, writing, everything. Kubrick was such an amazing director. I know that there's been certain things. I got a documentary from the library on this movie, 312 or whatever it's called, and I'm going to watch that, get a little more depth with that. We'll talk about that another time. But you know, I heard he was kind of a bit turd. He was a little meticulous, and he's very meticulous. And I'm glad he was, in a sense. Should he have been, abusing people, harassing people? No. Should Shelley Duvall's hair have fallen out? Should she have basically gone crazy after this movie? No. But at the same time, this movie is just so incredible. So I'm not glad that happened, but I'm glad Kubrick cared. I will say that. I absolutely love the maze, too, in this. I know in the book it's hedge creatures. I don't love that. I think the movie The Shining is better than the book Shining. I know that is a hot take. I just don't always love Stephen King's work. He gets a little too crazy sometimes. I love this movie. I know Stephen King hates this movie. This is nothing like the book. That Jack is just immediately crazy. And I just love this movie. I love it. I love it. And just, guys, let's talk about more shots here. That shot where Jack's looking at the maze and it goes into where Danny and Wendy are going in the maze. Absolutely love that shot. The shot of them going up the stairs. The shot of her reading, all work and no play makes Jack a dull boy. God, just all of it. Such beautiful work in this movie. I absolutely love this movie. I don't know what my negative... the negative might be for this one that this movie is 2.5 hours, and it does feel like 2.5 hours. The pacing is well done, but you just feel the runtime. And I don't know if it is... It's not... I don't think it's because of the pacing necessarily. Maybe a couple little scenes could be chopped out. I don't know what I would chop out, but... We're going to go with 9 out of 10 on this one. Again, I don't think of these ratings necessarily, guys, until I'm done talking about it. And I'm done talking about it, but 9 out of 10. 9 out of 10. It's such a good movie, guys. I almost want to say it's perfect, but there's moments. I don't know. It's so good. I love this movie. I love this movie. I love it. I love it so much, guys. Such a good movie. Guys, next up, the sequel to The Shining. Dr. Sleep. Came out in 2019, directed by Mike Flanagan. And the sequel, based on the book, again, by Stephen King. And it is such an interesting movie because it is a direct sequel to the movie, but a direct sequel to the book as well. And it does such a great job of playing on both of them and really getting everything in there that needs to be in there. I just love how they worked in both versions of The Shining. I absolutely love that. Rosa Hatt is such a terrific villain, such a terrific character. Rebecca Ferguson does such an amazing job with her. The first thing you see in the movie, and she's beautiful, she's sexy, she's creepy, she's menacing. Absolutely overall with the hat. I love the Slipknot. Absolutely great. Ewan McGregor, absolutely incredible in this movie. He does such a good job of showing a man who has had all this trauma in his life, of struggling and then rising up to do better. He just has so much range, and he is such a gifted, talented actor. Ian McGregor is one that he's underrated in my book. I love everything that he's in. I really do. He's such a fantastic actor. The Knot, again, is such an interesting, creepy group. The way they bring in new people. What's her name? Snake. I forget her name. Something Snake. That one younger gal, the 15-year-old girl. How they bring her in, that's very interesting. How they add to their group. Abra is such a great character. Another child actor doing such a great job playing this character. We have two technically child actors playing him. Both are fantastic. They do such a great job. Again, Abra's she's also just an amazing character. She's kind of like Danny. She does such a great job of basically being what Danny was, in a sense that he was isolated. Well, that's not true. She feels isolated in the sense she's the only one that knows about these things, but then she's also not isolated from family, from the world, essentially. She has her family. Her family still loves her. They understand this craziness, but she still has, she is still isolated in a sense too, because these people are thinking crazy girl, creepy girl, you know? So she is isolated in a sense, but she still has this support of her family. She's not in a hotel in the middle of nowhere. So it is kind of an opposite in a sense. It shows what Danny maybe could have been if there was a little more love and care put into the world. When Abra is also... Wait, hold on. Am I looking in the... where am I at? I don't even know where I'm at, guys. Oh, here we go. I love the mythology of The Shining, how some call it the Steam, some of it calling The Shining, some of it call it, I don't know what Abra call it. What does Abra call it? The Powers? I don't remember. Anyways, everyone's kind of has their own idea of what this is called. And I love that the Slipknot, the knots, is that what they call it? The Slipknots? The knots. It's just the knots, isn't it? I can't remember. Anyways, guys, I love how the knots are hunting people who have a shine to them. And they're living off the shine, essentially. Absolutely fantastic. Makes them so scary. The scene with Bradley, played by Jacob Tremblay, is so good, guys. So haunting, so terrifying, so creepy. It is such a good scene. Such a great scene. And it's so insane. It's just, it's the direction and how they film that scene. It's absolutely fantastic, guys. I love that scene so much. Again, creepy as hell, but I love it. When Abra is also watching the vehicles moving in her vision, that scene of how the cars go, and you kind of see looks so cool. There are so many beautiful shots, and they just the way they are done. Mike Flanagan, same as Kubrick, has so much care that he put into this movie, and truly is a fan of The Shining, of the book, the movie, and it shows, and I love it. I love that. There's also that scene too at the grocery store where Rose sees Abra, and there's that connection, and that such a great scene at the supermarket too. Love that scene. I love that this movie plays to the book, but also plays to the original movie. I absolutely love that. And then also going back to Danny as a child and Wendy, the recasting that they did, I think it really does work. It's a little, what's the word I'm looking for? It's off-putting at first, but at the same time, I think it works. I think this is a lot better than trying to CGI them into the movie to looking the way they did. Find an actor that has some resemblance and make it work. You know, Danny was a child when all this happened. Maybe he doesn't fully remember it and see them the way he did. And it can work. It just works. I think it really does work well. And I love the idea that he and his mom moved to Florida, somewhere warm where they never had to deal with the cold again. And they tried to outrun this. And they tried to be happy. Even though in the end, his mom ends up dying when he was, I think, what does he say, 18 or something like that? Or 10? I don't remember. He's young. And it's so easy to see how Danny would have went off the deep end and went crazy, kind of like his dad did. But also at the same time, he has lived through this and he wants to stay normal, so he stays normal. But guys, it's such a great movie, such a great sequel. I love this movie so much. Not quite as good as the first. I watched the 3-hour director's cut or whatever it is. I think the theoretical cut works. There's a lot of little extra things that are added, though, to give it a little more depth in the director's cut. But it's still, I think both cuts are really good. But still, even with that, this movie's very long. Even without that 3-hour cut, you can feel that 2.5-hour runtime. It is a long movie. There are definitely some slower moments. Some moments that are definitely needing to be slower. For example, him going into the hospital where he's looking at the hospice place and going in and telling them, yep, you're going to die. It's going to be okay. It's a slower scene, but it's a beautiful, heart-wrenching, amazing scene that I absolutely love. So this movie does take its time, but it is such a good movie, and I love the mythology. I will also say this, too. The ending of this movie bugs me a little bit. We get to the Overlook again, and you can tell a lot of these things are CGI. There's that particular scene where they're basically reenacting the scene on the stairs with Rose the Hat and Danny, that it just, you can tell it's CGI. I do like that they use the ending that is in The Shining, the book, in this movie, so they switch it up a little bit, but still, it's just a really awesome sequel to The Shining, book and movie. And I love this movie so much. Mike Flanagan clearly has a care for this. I love this movie. I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10, guys. Not quite as good as The Shining, but it's still really close. So 8 out of 10 for Dr. Sleep. Really great movie, guys. If you haven't watched Dr. Sleep or The Shining, what the hell are you doing here? Just stop watching this. Go watch those. They're the best. They really are. Oh, that's good. Next up, guys, Halloween Ends. We talked about this last week and how much I dislike this movie, like big time. Did not like it. I have a buddy, the one who lives in Chicago. He really liked this movie. He really does. I don't know. He doesn't think it's the most amazing movie in the world, but he likes that this movie tried doing something different. So I decided I was going to watch it again, and I'm going to spoil it this time around. So if you've not seen Halloween Ends, it's been out for 2 weeks. You can watch it on Peacock. I don't recommend watching it in the theater necessarily. Thinking about going to see it in the theater, though. We'll see. So yeah, let's talk about Halloween Ends. And the first thing I'm going to say about Halloween Ends, getting into spoilers here, this movie was extremely mismarketed. This poster, for example, the night she sent him home, like, that implies Laurie and Michael. But they're not in the movie, guys. That's what bugs me about this. The trailers are showing this battle between Michael Myers and Laurie Strode, that this movie is about them, but it's not. It's really not. This movie is a romance about romance and showing people who have gone through trauma getting evil, essentially, and then it doesn't pay off. This might have worked better if Corey hadn't died and he actually took over for Michael Myers. But he dies. Michael Myers kills him. The entire movie's almost a waste of time by that point. And I just didn't buy this. And I don't love it. The opening is I think that opening is really good. I wish it wasn't a Halloween opening though. Like it just doesn't make sense for it to be a Halloween movie opening. I didn't like that. There's just so much fluff in this movie too. Like, why did Allison date this cop, this older cop? Like, to show that she struggled after her boyfriend and Kills died. Cameron, I think that's the name. She struggled with the fact Cameron died, and so she dated a bunch of assholes for a while. Like, I guess that's kind of what they're going for. At the same time, though, okay. It doesn't go anywhere really with it. It's just she dated a butthead for a while. Why? I don't know. If anything, I feel like this would make her not want to date. We should see someone who is not wanting to date. We shouldn't see any boyfriends. We should see Laurie Strode going, hey, you need to get back out there. I know this happened. It was hard, but it's time to get back on the horse. That's more of how it should have went. And instead they did that. I don't love this love at first sight thing either. How she's just looking at him fixing his finger and her hand, and I just didn't buy it. I don't buy this romance. I don't buy it at all. And the fact that, like, they go to this Halloween party, this awesome date, and, like, Allison's crying when Corey leaves, it's just, no. Like, what? No, the guy was being an asshole. I hate that. I just hate it. The script is terrible, too. I just can't stand this script. Laurie's all like, get those tits out or whatever. Find a guy who makes you want to pick your tits up, and it's so stupid. It does not sound like Laurie Strode at all. It doesn't. It's terrible. I just hate the humor in this movie when there is, and there's really not even that much. And I just don't buy it. I like the swings. I do like this idea that Michael's evil can be transferred, essentially. But the way they do it is stupid. How Michael, like, sees into his eyes, that was stupid. The fact that Michael isn't doing anything in the movie. It'd be different if, like, Michael was, like, mentoring. And it'd be different if this was just a separate anthology Halloween movie, kind of like Season of the Witch, where Michael Myers is just a side character. That would have been fine, but they didn't. That's not what they showed us. That's not what they tried doing. They had this ending that they had to have, and the movie's called Halloween Ends. It bugs me so much, guys, what they tried doing. Again, I like some of the swings. I really do. But it just doesn't earn them. And with those big of swings, you need to earn it a little bit, or at least get close. Something, guys. You know, there's movies out there where you go, I didn't love that, but I respect you for doing it. Interstellar's one, for example. The ending in Interstellar, I do not like. But it's a big swing. Christopher Nolan went for it, and he did a great job doing it. He explained it. He went for it. This movie is almost like, I want to go for it, but at the same time, I want to play it safe because it's the final one. And you can't have tug of war like that. It feels like I'm playing tug of war as I'm watching this movie. That just doesn't work. Oh, what else, guys? Yeah, in the final battle between Laurie and Michael Myers, it's just not that great. Like, it's fine. It's good. But the battle in 2018 was a better battle. And it felt like a more conclusive ending. I just think Halloween 2018 should have just been one movie. And that's it. You didn't need any more movies. Make anthology movies after that. One where Michael Myers is just going around killing people. And then have another one where Michael Myers gives away his entity of evil, you know? I don't know. At the end of the day, guys, rewatching this movie, it didn't change for me at all. Again, I'm admiring the twists, the turns. I just hate how it was marketed. I hate that Corey dies in the end. And the whole thing with Corey is interesting and different. And then just out of nowhere, it starts focusing on Laurie and Michael because it's Halloween Ends. And I hate it. It's just very messy. I just did not buy this movie. I just can't recommend it. And I'm giving it the same grade still. It's 3 out of 10 for me, guys. I just did not enjoy this movie. I might go see it in theaters. I don't know if I'm going to have a lot of time to see it, though, because it dropped 80% this week. If I was a theater and it dropped 80%, not as many people are coming, I wouldn't be showing this anymore. So we'll see if I get a chance. But, you know, if I don't, that's fine. I'm not going to hate myself for it. I don't think it's an experience ruined because I watched it on Peacock. God, I hate myself for saying that. Tastes like vinegar. Really does. Next movie we have, guys, Josie and the Pussycats. Now, I know what you're thinking. Cody, why did you watch this movie? Well, we watched it for film group. And my buddy who lived in Chicago, his girlfriend, was the one who suggested this movie. And, guys, I love this movie. This movie is so much fun. There's an amazing opener. And immediately I was like, okay, this movie is... it very much knows what it is. It knows that it's over the top, ridiculous, and it's kind of funny. It's got an Austin Powers vibe to it that I really liked. I absolutely love Alan Kunik. I forget how you say it. Kunik? I can't remember how you say it, but Alan in this movie is so good. I absolutely love him in this movie. The humor is so flipping good. It's so smart and just amazing. It's such amazing humor, guys. Again, it kind of feels like Austin Powers, just not as stupid. Even though the character is as dumb as Austin Powers humor. It's so good. Guys, the costumes in this movie were so good. There's some really great over-the-top costumes, and then just, you know, plain Jane normal costumes, but all of it looks so great. We are going 40 minutes here. I gotta talk a little faster, maybe. I'm not gonna talk faster, but you know what I mean. Yeah, so guys, the costumes in this movie is so good. The sound in this movie is so good. And it should be. It's a music movie. Music movies gotta have good sound, or it's just not gonna be a good movie. I also love the plot. It's very interesting. The idea that we're gonna brainwash people into... brainwash people. I just... Wow. It almost reminded me, since we just talked about Halloween 3 Season of the Witch, where they have the masks that are brainwashing them with the snakes and stuff. Yeah. This is just such an interesting plot. I kind of like that plot of having the one character feeling left out and feeling like she's getting stepped on. This movie, though, it felt weird because it felt like she was being thrown out because she was black. I don't think that's what it was going for necessarily, but it just kind of felt that way. It made me a little uncomfortable at times. And I also think it's so silly and ridiculous. It's kind of meta at times, too. Hey, iced tea. It's meta at times as well. The way Alan's always looking at the camera, winking and stuff. Yeah, I liked that. That was so great. The movie has a decent message about friendship, and it has a little bit of a redemption arc, which was the category for movies that week in our film club. So I love the message of friendship and being yourself. This movie really much is about being yourself. And when I first saw the poster and stuff, I kind of thought it was going to be kind of like a Disney Channel original movie kind of thing, like Cheetah Girls or something like that, or Hannah Montana. It wasn't. It was so much more than that, and it's so much better than that. And this is such a great, enjoyable movie, guys. What I will say is it is dumb at times. It is ridiculous at times. But again, the movie knows it. It knows it's not a great movie. It knows it's a fun movie and an enjoyable movie. And that's what's really great about it. At the end of the day, guys, I'm going to give this movie a 7 out of 10. I really enjoyed this movie, and I can't wait to watch it again. I kind of want to buy this one on 4K, get good sound quality with it, and great, strong picture with it, because, wow. Well, this movie's fun. It's a great pick, Caroline. Good job. 7 out of 10. Guys, I'm so tired, but I'm gonna get through this. I have 2 more movies to talk about. Next up, guys, we have Black Adam. This was a movie that I was excited for. I like The Rock. I like Pierce Brosnan. I like a good superhero movie. I like Shazam, so I was very excited for this. The director of this movie directed Jungle Cruise, which I enjoyed quite a bit with The Rock in it. So yeah, I was kind of excited for this one. It was like, I don't know, 7 or 8 out of 10 excitement. I was really excited for it. And I went in knowing that not a lot of people, not at least critics, liked it, because it's at like 30%. Audience score was good though, and a customer also came in and told me about it and said, oh, it's a good and fun, enjoyable time. Get popcorn, have a soda, and have a blast. And, you know, it is a movie, just have a blast. It is a big, dumb, fun comic book movie. It is balls to the wall action. There is very little breathing time. It's just action, 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 action. And it's fun. I'm going to say that. It's fun. CGI is very noticeable in some scenes. You know, particularly some scenes where, like, the Rock's flying around, you can really tell. Villain is absolutely nothing in this movie. I mean, I'm not gonna, it's not really a spoiler, but it is, like, well, I'm not gonna say it. The villain is just kind of nothing. He also, plays Jafar in the live-action Lion King, I've realized. And I was noticing it felt similar to the Lion King live-action remake. And, well, he actually plays Jafar in that movie. And towards the end here, he starts looking like Jafar as the genie. Except different. Redder. You know what I mean. You know. Yeah. But yeah. So yeah, the villain wasn't so great, but it was fine enough. But I didn't care about him at all, and I don't know anything about it. I just know that this guy played Jafar Lion King. Opening has a lot of voiceover and exposition, and I could have been done better. Could have been done way better. I almost feel like this movie didn't trust us that we could handle a flashback at the beginning of the movie and showing us. It felt the need to say it and have a narration with it, and then just completely go away for the rest of the movie. Guys, this is almost nearly, this had to be really close to being an R rating, which I think that there is an R-rated cut of this movie. Because there's some brutal scenes, some brutal kills in this movie, really. And when we see that, and we definitely see that he is not a hero. He's more of this anti-hero, which is hard to do, I feel like, in comic book movies and such like this. It's hard to have an anti-hero. Because at the end of the day, we still kind of, like, love him and stuff like that. Like Deadpool, which is not up. He has fallen down. But Deadpool is kind of a movie. He's not a hero. He's an anti-hero. But at the same time, he's so lovable and fun that it's hard to think of him as a you know, a villain, almost. So it can be really hard to do that. And I think this movie does that really well. Whoa, oops. This movie's also kind of cliche. You kind of know what's going to happen. You know where it's going. But again, with this balls to the wall action, it's just wowza. It's hard to know what, I mean, basically like every awesome action sequence you've seen in a superhero movie, put it in this movie, and that's what it is. It's just all action sequences. Whoa. God, my iPad's being weird. I'm going to let you know, guys, I also had an edible. I am starting to get slightly high. Mixed with the alcohol. So, yeah, and I haven't eaten since, like, noon. So I probably should eat. Yeah. Okay. It's definitely not a hero. You know everything that's going to happen. There's also just so much stuff in this movie, and it is a little overstuffed. There is the stuff with the kid and the mom and the JSA and then Black Adam, and there's a lot. There's just a lot going on. I do not love the kid in the movie. Just take him out. He is just, I don't know, he's trying to be really cool and awesome. The thing he does with the skateboard all the time, it's just, and I didn't think the actor playing him really did all that good of a job. I found him to be really wooden. So I didn't love the kid. Don't like it. Like I said, the stuff with the JSA is just a little much. I feel like they should have had their own movie, and then it maybe could have been combined into this movie. Have a JSA movie, and then Black Adam, and I think it might have worked. I don't know, and they're fun. I love all the actors playing them, and there's some really cool moments with them. But at the end of the day, it's a little too much. The movie's called Black Adam, and there's a lot of focus on the JSA as well. Dr. Fate, Hawkman, they're all really cool. I forget the names, but this guy and that gal was not given very much screen time. You could tell they wanted to focus more on the relationship between Hawkman and Pierce Brosnan's no one's getting picked. Dr. Fate's boogers are getting picked. Anyways, guys, there's a lot of focus on that, and not a lot of focus on Cyclone and Ant-Man, sort of, but he's Giant Man. There's also a lot of slow motion in this movie, guys. Some scenes it works because, like, Black Adams can see things that are gonna happen, sort of. Like, he can slow down time almost with his lightning powers. So it works with that. But then there's moments like with... Oh, I'm doing that. Sorry if you heard that. It was just... Anyways, guys, what was I talking about? Like, Dr. Fate is another one that maybe could see slow motion because he can see into the future kind of thing. He knows fate. And, but like, I don't know, just like Hawkman, why does he need to be in slow motion all the time? It was just a little too much slow motion, but sometimes it's really good, other times just not so much. And you can just tell the CGI too and such. Also, some things that happen and then they kind of just like get changed 10 minutes later, and it almost feels like it didn't need to happen. You could have just cut it out of the movie. So the movie also feels a little long. It's like 2 hours and 5 minutes. I think you could have took out 10 minutes of this movie very easily. And I think it's that one particular subplot where something happens and then it's changed 10 minutes later. Just take that out of the movie. At the end of the day, guys, this is still a really enjoyable movie. I had so much fun with the balls-to-the-wall actionness of it. There's a lot of fun sequences. I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10. It was enjoyable. I don't see this 38% crap that it's at. It's just weird to me. Didn't need that. Last up, guys, Ticket to Paradise. This is a movie I saw the trailer for, and I went, I just saw the entire movie. It's going to be just like every single other one. And, well, I'm here to tell you guys that I have seen this movie before. It is the exact thing that you see in the trailer. You know everything is going to happen. Sometimes even you can take the words right out of their mouth before they even say it, because you just know what's going to happen. It's a very cliche movie that you know everything that's going to happen, but it's still enjoyable. More than anything, why this is enjoyable, Julia Roberts, George Clooney, they have great chemistry, guys. And you can tell they're having fun. They're bantering. They're just insulting each other. And they're just having fun. There's also some fun moments, funny moments as well. Fun and funny moments. What can I say? There's some funny moments. I was laughing quite a few times. I think I laughed at least 10 times throughout this movie. The crowd was enjoying it. The crowd was also saying the lines before it actually got said, but... And George and Julia just have fantastic... Julia have fantastic chemistry. That's all I can say. I mean, their chemistry is fantastic. And you can... When you can tell people are having fun on screen, you're having fun. And it's just... It works. The opening shot of this movie, too, is Chicago. Is a specific building in Chicago, and I was just like, Chicago! So I was very happy with that. It immediately got me excited, and then things started going downhill from there, of course, but, well, not necessarily. It was going up, and yeah. But anyways, guys, it's a fun, enjoyable movie. Very cliche. You just know everything that's going to happen. They're going to a wedding to the girl has dated this guy for like 3 months. They met on vacation. I don't buy that for 1 second. I feel like maybe that was slightly on purpose because we're supposed to be on the parent's side, not her side. Yeah. You'll understand if I've seen the movie, but, well, I don't. Anyways, guys, I just don't buy the romance. I think it was too rushed, and there was no chemistry between the two. That I didn't buy that, but again, it's not about that necessarily. It's about George Clooney and Julia Roberts, and it's fine enough. I really gotta say, guys, this movie ended, and I was like, don't do it. Don't do what I think you're gonna do. Like, it was starting to end, and I went, oh, they're gonna end it this way. This is actually a good ending. And then it went and did the thing that it shouldn't have did. And I hated that. So yeah. At the end of the day, guys, it's a 5 out of 10. I mean, it's not the greatest movie in the world. I didn't hate it. Would I watch it again? Sure. There's some good, funny parts. And it's nice to see a rom-com, guys. We've had, what, 2 rom-coms this year? 3 rom-coms, really, this year. The Lost City, this one, and Marry Me. And they were all enjoyable, and I'm just glad we're getting these kind of things back. I'm glad we're having laughs, we're falling in love, blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean. 5 out of 10, guys. It is a fairly enjoyable movie. If you like this kind of stuff, if you like Julia Roberts, George Clooney, definitely go see this movie, guys. And that brings us to the end, guys, really. I did not get posters up for movies coming out this week because I just don't think there are really any movies coming out this week. But let's go to IMDb quick and just do one check here, see if we got everything that we need to have, or, something else I could talk about. The Ant-Man and the Wasp trailer came out. I did not watch it. I just don't want to see things anymore. That Christmas special for the Guardians of the Galaxy trailer came out too. Did not watch it. Really? I mean, I watched it without sound, kind of. So, like, I know the really cool thing, but at the end of the trailer that was referenced a couple times in the movies. That's so cool. Armageddon Time, which I might have talked about in a previous video. I kind of thought it was already supposed to be out, but it hasn't yet. But I'm really excited for this movie. Great cast. At the same time, though, I talked about Amsterdam. Amsterdam was the first movie we talked about today. And that had a really good cast. And boy, was that movie a disappointment. So, what's it currently? It's at a 77, actually. It's got strong critical reviews, anyway. So, I'm interested in it. I definitely would like to see it when I can get a chance. So, yeah. Excitement level for Armageddon Time, 8 out of 10. It's something I'm very excited for. Next up then is Black Panther, November 11th. So, oh, and that Spirited comes out. That's the Apple TV one. I hope that'll be in theaters, because I really don't want to pay for Apple TV Plus. What else we got coming out? Poker Face with Russell Crowe, Liam Hemsworth. That's a decent cast, not an amazing cast. But Spirited with Ryan Reynolds and Will Ferrell, that musical. I'm excited for that. The Menu, I'm very excited for. Bones and All. I watched a trailer for that today. Doesn't look that great. It really doesn't. But I'll probably still, check it out. Fablemans. That one that is based on the true story of Steven Spielberg's childhood. Really excited for that one. Strange World. I've seen a lot of trailers for it. I don't know much about it, but I'm kind of excited for it. And that gives us in December. Let's not go too far. But, yeah, guys, not a whole heck of a lot of movies coming out. But I am very excited for... I'm excited to be surprised this award season. I'm hoping something really surprises me. Even though it doesn't look like nothing will right now. But anyways, guys, that has been Codeman Movies. What are we at? 33, 34, something like that. I am going out of town probably tomorrow night or early Saturday morning. I am going to be spending the weekend with my cousin. We're going to do anything and everything he wants to do. He's 10 years old. I'm going to take him trick-or-treating. It'll be so much fun. I'm very excited for that. Other than that, guys, so yeah, the episode next week will probably definitely be late like this one. Hopefully not as late. But yeah, it'll be later. Don't know how many movies I'm going to get to watch either. I'll definitely watch a movie tonight. Maybe Tuesday. Maybe Tuesday I'll be able to watch one or two. Maybe not. I don't know. It might be tough. But anyways, guys, until our next episode, we'll figure something out. Anyways, I'll figure out something that we can talk about, blah, 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 blah. Anyways, guys, until next week, we will see you next time. I hope you guys have such a great week. Stay safe, stay healthy, all that fun jazz, and we will see you next time.